Hello there friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brittany, and in today's video, we're gonna talk about what is on my bucket list for Disney World in 2024. I saw another YouTuber do a video of this, and I thought it was just such a fun, cute idea. What I love so much about Disney is that there's always something new, there's always something different to try, to experience. So grab a little cup of coffee, grab a tea. I have a coffee here in my trusty Yeti mug from Vineyard Vines on Nantucket. Just have a little bit of a chit chat of what is on my bucket list. And I would love it if you could leave a comment of what's on your bucket list. Maybe I've never done it. Maybe somebody else hasn't done it or experienced it or eaten it either. So let's just kind of learn from each other and just get excited about our next trip to Disney. So pull up a chair, get cozy, please like, please subscribe to the channel, and let's just get into it. So the first thing that is on my bucket list for 2024 is becoming an annual pass holder. We've always kind of thought, oh, is it worth the money? We live in the Boston area. We don't live in Florida. We've been to Disney World so many times every year that we should have been annual pass holders before now. I do think it depends on you and your family, how often you go to Disney World, but for us, it really does make sense. I would love to be an annual pass holder just for the opportunity to go to the parks whenever we want to. But then there's always just like those perks with becoming an annual pass holder, that you get discounts on rooms, discounts on merchandise and food. So I really do think, in our case anyway, that it will be worth it. Probably will do that as part of our next trip, but really wanting to check that off of our bucket list. Another kind of like bigger ticket or like bigger idea is renting DVC points and just kind of like experiencing what that's all about and staying at a specific resort. So the resort that I would love to stay at this year is the Riviera. We went to Topolino's Terrace when we were there over the Christmas holiday. I know it's super hyped up, but honestly, it was so good. We had such a great time. I love that it's on the Skyliner. My favorite mode of transportation at Disney World, which I'm sure it's everybody's favorite mode of transportation, but I just think the Riviera just looks so calm but chic. I think that would be a really fun thing to check off of my list this year, and then kind of just see if it's something that maybe we want to pursue more. So that's kind of my third thing, and this is probably not a 2024 bucket list. Maybe this is a 2025 bucket list item, but we've talked about becoming DVC members. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. There's pros and cons to it. We're not really deluxe resort goers, really just for the fact that we love the Disney Skyliner. So we stay at the resorts on the Skyliner route just because of that ease of access. So that's why we may decide that it makes sense to become members at the Riviera as our home resort. I don't know, something that we want to think about, we want to explore. We love Disney World. We're definitely going to be going to vacation at Disney World for years and years and years. It's definitely expensive. It's a big chunk of money to pay up front. For 2024, we'll take that first little step and go from there. So the next thing that's on my list is sort of like a general bucket list kind of item is I'd love to take a minivan. We don't normally take Ubers or Lyfts to the parks. We always take the Disney transportation. I just feel like it would be kind of a fun experience. You see these everywhere. I'd like to try it out. So that's something we are going to try in 2024, and I will keep you posted on how that goes and was it worth it in the end to take a minivan. So actually, while we're on the topic of the minivan, this kind of goes into my next bucket list item, and maybe we'll take the minivan to do this. What I would love to try for a food item are those Mickey beignets that I hear about from so many YouTubers. I know they're at Port Orleans French Quarter. I've actually never been to that resort. Maybe that's something that might be kind of a fun thing to do. We could take a minivan over there just to try out these beignets and see what they are all about. I've read on some blogs, I've seen some videos that it seems like they have the beignets in Magic Kingdom, but I think it's for a short time. They're over in Frontierland at the Golden Oak Outpost. I wonder if they would be just as good in Magic Kingdom. Maybe they're doing that to kind of like test the waters for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. There's all this sort of chatter about maybe they're gonna be changing Frontierland. I think there's always just like something fun about new things coming to Disney World, kind of like what we're talking about here. I, for one, am really, really excited for Tiana's. Definitely wanna try out these Mickey beignets and just see what all the fuss is about. So while we're talking about Magic Kingdom, another thing on my list, and I can't actually believe that I'm saying this, is to see Happily Ever After. I think we were in the park while that was going on back in August 2023. I kind of feel like I remember hearing it, but it was like the most hot, humid night. It was unbelievable. Just leaving Tron, we had an individual lightning lane that was during the fireworks show, and then we were done at that point in time because it was so hot, it was so humid, and this was like 9 o'clock at night. We were kind of trying to make our way to get out of the park. I wasn't really focusing on it because I was more thinking about like getting out of the park. When we were just in Disney over Christmas, I didn't have Happily Ever After them. I want to like camp out in the hub grass. I want to like experience all that Happily Ever After has to offer. So that is definitely on our list. Also at Magic Kingdom, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a 2024 bucket list or maybe something that we'll do in the future, is that Keys to the Kingdom tour. I don't know a lot about it. It feels like people really don't talk about it very much because they don't want to spoil the magic, the surprise, which I totally, totally appreciate. I don't want it to be spoiled, but I would love to go backstage and just see all of the inner workings. I think that would be so, so amazing, and what a unbelievable experience that would be. I'm not even sure how you sign up for it. I think they open up a certain number of blocks. I'm sure it sells out really quickly, but maybe that's sort of with our becoming DVC members, we'll do the Keys to the Kingdom tour, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Is that something that you have done? Do you recommend it? Would love to hear what you thought of it. So there are a couple things at Hollywood Studios that are on my bucket list for this year. One of them is watching the Frozen Ever After, or whatever that show is called. We always walk by it. We've just never taken the time to go to it. We always think about it afterwards. And again, when we were there over Christmas, I hear that they had a special kind of holiday overlay, which would have been really, really fun to see. Doesn't matter, we love Frozen all year round. Next thing at Hollywood Studios that I am really excited to try, the Wookiee cookie that is over, I think it's in the back Lot Express or whatever that restaurant is over by Star Tours. We don't ever go to that restaurant. So let me just say, I am not like an oatmeal raisin cookie fan. Personally, I just hate raisins. I know that this is just an oatmeal cookie, and I think there's like buttercream frosting or whatever it is. We are big Star Wars fans, so it just seems kind of fun to try this out. So that is on our list for this year. Also at Hollywood Studios, what I'd love to try are the tachos that are at Woody's Lunchbox. We don't normally go to Woody's Lunchbox, mostly because we go to Disney World a lot of the time in the summer months. There's very little shade, and it's always sort of hard to find seating over at Woody's Lunchbox, but I would love to try those out. I also want to try out the PopTart cookie. I don't think I've had a PopTart since I was maybe in elementary school, but I'm definitely willing to try it. Those are the things at Hollywood Studios that we are just really, really excited to check off our list this year. So jumping to Animal Kingdom, one thing that I don't know a lot about, but I've just suddenly started hearing about it, is the animation experience. I didn't even know that it was a thing. So you take a train to some other kind of remote part of the park. We always go to Animal Kingdom as our first park of our trip, but I feel like we always sort of end our time at Animal Kingdom around 11 a.m. maybe. I just would love to try this out as something new to experience at this park that we love so much. The next two things are Disney Springs bucket list items, and I gotta say, I am not the biggest fan of Disney Springs. It is just so busy all the time. It doesn't matter when it is, what time of year, what time of day. I think another thing that I find annoying about Disney Springs, sorry I'm going on a tangent here, is that we usually stay, as I said in the beginning, at Pop Century. So when you take the bus to Disney Springs, they drop you off right in front, which is great. But when you want to leave, the bus stop for Pop Century is at the end of the world. You have to walk all the way around that parking kind of queue thing. It is the last stop there is. So at the end of the night, like maybe this is just me because I like to get where I'm going, but I just find it so annoying when you're wanting to leave Disney Springs. You have to walk forever and then you have to wait. I know that's like first world Disney problems, but I feel like maybe that is also why I get just sort of about going to Disney Springs. But that being said, we did go to Disney Springs on our last trip. We had a great dinner. We did this Christmas tree stroll. It was lovely. It was really busy, but it was nice to see. There are two things at Disney Springs that are on my bucket list. One of them is going to Gideons Bak House, which I realize probably everyone has been to Gideons Bak House, but we've never been because the line, the wait list is always so incredibly long. Again, when we were there over Christmas, we went up to join a virtual queue, kind of like they do for Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy. And the queue estimated wait was 3.5 hours. We're not gonna sit around here for 3 hours. So that was kind of a bummer, but I do wanna try it. It looks very cool from the outside. Another thing on my Disney Springs bucket list for this year is going to Summer House. It's such a beautiful restaurant. It just like is the aesthetic of everything that I want in my life. And the menu looked really, really good. There was just so many things on it that I wanted to try. That will be a reason for us to go to Disney Springs. Even for the aesthetics alone, we will 100% be checking that one off of our list. So those are my bucket list items for 2024. I hope that you found this entertaining to listen along with. Part of the fun of going to Disney World is the planning part of it, the thinking ahead, the looking forward to something. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. Take care of yourself. I will see you real soon. Bye now.